I'm Dr. SCL. I'm a dad, a chiropractor, and the translator you didn't know you needed in this, the first year of parenting. This is Decoded, the first year, the podcast that turns baby brain confusion, mum burnout, and milestone panic into clarity you can actually use. Let's make sense of the chaos by decoding it together. There are two sliding door moments that almost every parent in my office has ever described to me at some point. Number one is that the baby is crying. Someone else picks them up, a partner, a grandparent, a carer, and the crying gets louder. And then you as the mum take them back and almost instantly they settle. And on the surface, that feels like a compliment. But underneath it, it often feels like a trap. Because now you can't leave. You can't rest. You can't hand them over. You can't even go to the bathroom without it becoming a crisis. Or option number two is your child is screaming. You seemingly cannot do anything right for them. And in swoops your partner, grandparent, or even the super mega heaps awesome chiropractor you've decided to visit to see if he can make a difference. And like a proverbial kick in the guts, your baby instantly settles, relaxes, and even has the gall to fall asleep. In both of these scenarios, the following is the result. Guilt creeps in. Did I do something wrong? Am I making this worse? Is my baby going to be like this forever? Today, we're going to decode exactly what is happening in your baby's nervous system when they will only settle for you or if they act as if you are the devil. And I promise you, it is not what most people think. Now, before I go on, I can tell you this topic is extremely personal and still very raw for me. For I spent the best part of the first 3 years of my son's life thinking, I'm Dr. Dad. I know pediatric development better than most. Yes, parenting is a new skill, granted, but with my Dr. Dad knowledge, I feel I'll be able to navigate most challenges with a degree of logic and rational thought. Now, I know that was my first mistake, but for most of the challenges, and we have had some tough moments, my wife and I, we've done pretty well. However, when it came to being included in settling and or calming my son, I wasn't even on the bench, let alone in the same team. My son, for the first 3 years, wanted nothing to do with me at bath time, bedtime, story time, or anything that resembled comfort time. And this gutted me. Gutted me to a level that I cannot clearly or easily describe. But I can tell you I felt lower than useless. I'm lucky enough, I see lots of bubs in my office and I get to share my knowledge with lots of chiropractors and mums to help them decode the first year of their baby's development. But I couldn't comfort my own son, reading him a story, or help at bath time. Now, I do know the unique skills that a dad brings to parenting. The rough play, the physical interactions, the encouragement to conquer risky and challenging situations. But the occasional cuddle doesn't hurt. So I share this to say I get it. I get the emotional torment of feeling useless, and I get the emotional torment of having a partner who feels like a solo parent because Bubbo won't even let them pee without supervision. I also share this to let you know that your baby isn't being mean, despite how it feels. They're focused on safety, and it's not that they don't think that you're safe, it's just that their nervous system cannot multitask and has already picked out their person. Now, from the mum's side, here's the story that most mums are told. Your baby prefers you because you've spoiled them, because you always go to them and rush in to swoop in and help, and because you haven't given anyone else the chance. And as a result, that story puts all the responsibility and all of the blame squarely on your shoulders, as if you have somehow trained your baby into being difficult. But here's what the story completely misses. Your baby is not choosing you out of manipulation. Your baby's nervous system is recognizing you as the source of safety. And that's not a problem you created. That is biology doing exactly what it was intended to do. The real issue isn't that your baby prefers you. The real issue is that we live in a culture that has decided that babies should be comfortable with everyone from an early age. And when they're not, we pathologize it and call it a problem. But that expectation was never based on how the nervous system actually works. So, for a moment, let's talk about what is genuinely going on inside your baby's body. Babies are born without the ability to regulate their own nervous system. Full stop. Period. They cannot soothe or self-soothe in any meaningful way in the early months. What they can do and what they are neurologically wired to do is to borrow regulation from another nervous system. We call this co-regulation. And co-regulation works through very specific signals. Your heartbeat, breathing pattern, smell, the exact quality of your voice, the specific way you hold them, the rhythm of how you move. These are not abstract comforts, they are neurological anchors. So for mums out there, your baby's nervous system has been learning your signals, your neurological anchors since before birth. In the womb, it was your heartbeat that was the backdrop to their entire existence. Your voice was the first sound they mapped. Your biochemical environment, your hormones and rhythms shaped the early blueprint of their nervous system. So when your baby is dysregulated, when their stress response is activated, their nervous system goes looking for the most reliable source of those signals. And in most cases, that's you. It's not dependency, it's neuroception, the nervous system's subconscious scanning of the environment for safety. And your baby's nervous system has learned deeply and thoroughly over time that you are safe. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When someone else tries to settle your baby and it doesn't work, it's rarely because your baby dislikes that person. Dads, I'm talking to you. It's because the person's signals are either unfamiliar or at least less familiar. Different heartbeat rhythm, different smell, voice quality, hold. And an already dysregulated nervous system cannot take on the work of learning new signals at the same time as trying to regulate. So as a result, the crying escalates. Not because of rejection, but because of uncertainty. And then mum walks back in. Your smell alone, before you've even picked them up, begins to shift their nervous system state. Because you are known, you are mapped, you are safe. That's not a habit, that's neuroscience. I see this pattern constantly in the office. A mum comes in exhausted. She tells me her baby is 8 weeks old and will not settle for her partner at all. Dad is trying everything. The same hold, the same shushing, the same walk around the kitchen, and nothing works. Mums feel guilty leaving the room. Dads feel helpless. And everyone is quietly starting to wonder, at worst, is something wrong with my baby? At best, is something wrong with dad? Nothing's wrong with the baby, and nothing is wrong with dad. The baby's nervous system is doing its job with remarkable precision, and it has identified one primary co-regulator and is loyal to that signal. What I often suggest in these situations is to try and start building co-regulation bridges before the baby is dysregulated. Dad reading to the baby during a calm window. Dad doing skin-to-skin contact when the baby is already settled. Dad's voice becoming a familiar anchor during feeds, bath time, in between moments. You are essentially teaching the baby's nervous system this signal is also safe. But you cannot teach that in a moment of crisis. You build it in the quiet moments first. With my son, shower time was daddy time. Every night when I was at home, I would have a shower with my son. We would stand under the water together, splash together, blow bubbles in the soap together. Now, the moment the shower was done, it was back to mummy time, but I did get a short moment of fame. Did it fill my emotional cup? A wee bit. Was I still jealous of story time and bedtime routines? Hell yes. I also see this with grandparents who visit infrequently. The baby cries every time grandma holds them. Grandma's devastated, mum feels terrible, but again, it's not personal. The baby's neuroception is registering an unfamiliar, not unsafe nervous system. The more consistent and calm the exposure, the more the nervous system builds a map of that person as being safe. It just takes time and the right conditions. If your baby only settles for you right now, you've not made a mistake, and neither has your partner. You, as mum, have become the most neurologically known person in your baby's world. It's no surprise, and that's not something that needs to be fixed. That is something that we need to understand and appreciate. What does it mean practically? The goal is not to remove yourself from the equation. It is to slowly, gently expand your baby's map of safety so that other caregivers can become known too. Not by forcing it during a meltdown, but by building familiarity during the calm windows. And for you, mum, you're allowed to acknowledge that this is hard. Being someone's entire nervous system is a big job. It's meaningful, it's important, and it's also exhausting. Both things can be true at the same time. You're not doing it wrong, and your baby's not broken, and your partner's not broken. Your nervous system built theirs, and right now they still need to borrow from yours in order to feel safe. The fact that your baby settles for you means you're doing something profoundly right. Until next time, trust your instincts, watch the patterns, and remember that strong foundations are usually built quietly. Dr. SCL, out. Thanks for listening to Decoded, the first year, where we translate the mess of early parenting into something that actually makes sense. Be sure to share this episode with a friend, a partner, or a mum that you know who is quietly struggling through the noise and secretly Googling every milestone. If you want to hear more decoding, follow @Mount Hawthorne Chiropractic on the socials. Let's keep decoding the chaos. No mansplaining, no pressure, no judgment, just clarity when you need it most. Please note, this podcast isn't medical advice. It's just smart strategies from a Gonstead chiropractor, a dad, and someone who's been in the room with hundreds of mums trying to make sense of their baby's development, their own postpartum recovery, and the constant noise that comes with modern parenting. Always chat with your health team for specific care.